Peace and love, fam. Peace and love. So, tonight, we're going to be getting into it. We're going to be diving into the thing that you guys saw earlier on my page. For those of you who did not see it and are seeing it in the future, I'm going to put it up right here real quick. We're going to talk about this. It's basically a terrible picture that's shown on the live that's saying Billy Carson almost died because of the vegan diet. But we're going to be talking about a lot more than that. You know, it's going to be probably one of the most important videos that you've heard. For those of you who have been plant-based or vegan or pescatarian, or you eat whatever meal that you eat, you're going to be able to take away from this video something really significant, because you're no longer going to be confused with all the information that's going on in the world. You know, I had a revelation today, and I'll share with you before we jump in, just so that everybody get inside the room. You know, I've spent over 12 years of my life learning and hoarding information. And I realized the more information that you take into your mind without properly organizing it, the more your mind becomes like a house that belongs to a hoarder. The more information you take in, you'll get to a point where you can't do anything with that information because your brain is stuffed. All right, like the turkey and Thanksgiving that most of us probably don't eat anymore. And it's really important for us to be able to go back, to shift through what we got, to see whether or not it makes sense. And we have to know, and the only way we know what makes sense is if we have that foundation. Everybody right now, people, y'all gonna be able to come on the live in a little bit, right? Everybody right now, we are saturated with so much information. And when it comes to your health that is the most important asset that you have, the most important resource that you have, is too much people gambling. Whether or not they're conscious of it or they're unconscious of it, it's so much people that's gambling because everybody has turned attention into money. Everyone just wants to make content, and that's okay, right? Because people gotta eat. But there has to be something that you can know for sure, and you never have to guess. And that's exactly what I'm gonna teach each and every one of you tonight when it comes to being plant-based or being meat eater, you know, being a meat eater. And I'm gonna start. Y'all ready? All right, let's get it. Any book suggestions? Y'all, I have a list of books that I give you. I have a list of movies that I give you. I have a list of audio tunes that I give you. I have a list of foods that you can eat. I give away lists and lists and lists of information. If you haven't got it, you can check for it in the link in the bio, or you can text the number. I give it out about twice a month. Confusion is the name of their game. As long as they can confuse the population, they will continue to eat meat. And so, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna start off right now. I'm gonna drop a bomb, y'all ready? Most of the holistic practitioners that you know, if they're seasoned in the game, if they have over 10 years in the game, all of them are no longer plant-based. All of them incorporate some type of fish into their diet, or more. Y'all don't have to believe me, and I'm not gonna use anybody's names, but that's across the board. Even Dr. Sebi himself ate fish. You wanna know why? It wasn't because he just liked the flavor of it. It's because he knew something. He knew something that he couldn't explain and he couldn't express, because he understood the kind of people that were listening to him were very religious in their thinking. And that's really what's happened to most people. We create these divisions. We make this bad and this good, black and white, good and evil, yin and yang. But here's something I'm gonna drop on y'all tonight. When you want to be healthy, the last thing that you want to focus on, I won't say last, I'll say the fifth or sixth thing you want to focus on is the food that you eat. Now I know a lot of y'all are gonna, I might have just hit a knee-jerk reaction in some of y'all, and it's to be expected, but just stay with me, I'm gonna explain it in total. Let's look at the body first. Let me put this up so y'all can see it. And I'm gonna say it right off the rip. You know, as I'm getting ready to show you this picture, I'm gonna show you right off of the rip. Why is it that I've been able to take someone who's had HIV and they still eat meat, they still eat fish 3 times a week, they still drink their wine every weekend, and even after 10 years of having HIV, they were able to reverse it with 6 months of doing this particular protocol. Why? This is going to explain it to you. So y'all, like, get your brain ready, you know, get your water, because your mind's about to be blown. And all of y'all on this live, all of y'all listening right now, are going to be able to take away what you need to do in order to maximize your quality of health, your time on earth, and your happiness here. All right, so look at what we're looking at right here. Human body ingredients. This is the chart that tells you what elements comprise your body most. You have 65% oxygen, 19% carbon, you have about 10% hydrogen, and you have a very small percent of nitrogen. Those 4 elements right there, those 4 elements make up 96% of your body. Now, let's say that doesn't bear any significance. If your body is made up of these 4 elements, 96%, wouldn't it make sense that these are the kind of things that you need to consume in order to maintain life? Let's think about that from a different angle. You know, you guys really helped me learn how to simplify things, because my mind isn't as simple as it needs to be able to maintain the attention span of the average person, because we know the average person has an attention span of a 6th grader, or the reading comprehension of a 6th grader. So I'm very grateful to all of you who are here, right, to be able to listen to me and help me learn. I just want to express that gratitude. Now, why this chart is significant is it tells you what things you need to consume most in order for your body to sustain life. And it also tells you what things are most important to create energy. Why? Let's think about this. If oxygen is at the top of the list at 65%, now do you understand why you need to breathe in order to live? If you don't breathe for 4 minutes, you're dead, fam. You're brain dead. You're dead. Your whole body's dead because the cells are no longer able to make energy. 65% oxygen. What comes next? Carbon. Carbon, which is in every single thing that's solid, regardless of whether you eat meat or you eat plants, everything that you consume, you're getting your carbon in. Hydrogen. Hydrogen is 10. And now that one's a little misleading. They'll say it's 9.5 or 10%. But we know what is hydrogen the main component of. What is hydrogen? Hydrogen is the first element on the periodic table of elements that creates all the other elements. When it comes together twice, it creates carbon. When it comes together 8 times, it creates oxygen. When it comes together 84 times, it creates the element gold. Hydrogen is the first element on a periodic table of elements because it's the lightest. So even though it says 10% there, we know the body has far more of it, because why? Why? Let's go back. Let's go back to the other thing that we need. So we need air in order to breathe, because if we don't breathe for 4 minutes, then we're dead. What's the second thing we need, fam? I'm gonna put it up on the screen. Let me know. Who knows this? What's the second thing we need, and if we don't get in the right quantities, we die? Come on. Y'all, this is a class, so y'all, give me feedback and let's do it like this. Waiting for y'all. What is the second thing we need? Y'all ready? Boom. Exactly. We have it. We have multiple geniuses. All right, there we go. Water. Inside of our body, when we're, matter of fact, I'll go to the other one again. Every part of our body is made of water. Every single part. Look at it. Your muscles, 75%, your liver, 85%, your kidneys, 83%, your brain, 75%, your blood, 83%, your heart, 79%, your bones, 22%. What is water? Water is hydrogen and oxygen, specifically H2O3, H2O4, H3O2, structured water. That's what that water is. When they say H2O, that's not even a liquid, that's a gas. If we're really doing chemistry. So if this many parts of our body is water, let's begin to see how everything is connected here. Water is everywhere in the body because water is the medium that transports everything in the body. And even more. Let's dive a little deeper. When people talk about, your body needs sugar for energy. Family, a sugar is literally a carbon molecule, a hydrogen molecule, and an oxygen molecule at different numbers. And what happens inside of the cell is the body takes the hydrogen and the oxygen and splits it. Each single cell in your body is a fusion reactor. That's part of the reason why they say you're a walking atomic bomb. Because you have 50 to 100 trillion cells, and those cells have like a 1.3 volt. It's the equivalent of 70 bolts of lightning. Your entire body. And all of that energy is only able to be made when you have hydrogen and oxygen. Which, when you add them up, you want to go back to the chart? Let's go back to the chart here. When you add up those things, what do you get? You have 75% of your composition makeup is, 75% is hydrogen and oxygen, water. So fam, at the top of the list, repetition is the key to learning so that it can stick and we can actually take action on it, right? So we have oxygen first because we need to breathe, then we have water, which is second because we need to drink water in order to stay alive or we're dead. No more energy is being created and circulated in the body. After that, we have carbon and nitrogen. And let's dive into that. But let me show you this chart real quick. Carbon and nitrogen. Remember, carbon we get from everything because everything that's solid needs to have carbon. Everything that's solid and that's made of proteins has a certain amount of carbon and nitrogen in it. Because why? Let's look at it. Proteins, fats. Look at that. If you guys can see that chart, take a screenshot or zoom in if you can. I don't know how it is on your end. But if you look at that, those are all the proteins in your body, family. What are those comprised of? H is hydrogen, O is oxygen, N is nitrogen, and C is carbon. You see a whole bunch of hydrogen and oxygen with a little bit of nitrogen and carbon. Those are what proteins are. So proteins are made of water too, which would obviously make sense because in all of these organs, they're mostly water, right? So put that in your head. Let's keep it going. What else we got here, fam? Let's look at the body from a different level. As we're born, our bodies, they say 80, but it's really 90% water. And as we age, as we get older in age, we have less and less amount of water in our body. What does that tell you? Talk to me, fam. What does that tell you? When you see that as you age, your body carries less water, and as you age, the cells in your body no longer can create the same level of energy, which is the reason why your cells deteriorate versus regenerate. What does that tell you? Is it going off? I know it is. So the water is what creates energy. Right? You are not hydrating the body properly. Exactly. Do you guys understand? Water is the most important thing in the world for your health. Water is the thing that they look for on planets when they want to see if there's life on the planet, right? Even though extraterrestrials could probably use another element to synthesize energy, that's what they look for. Water is the prerequisite to everything, right? If you guys remember, so we have oxygen, we have water, and we just discovered that even our proteins, and let's look at fats, and even our fats are made of what? Carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. Everything in the body is made up of these things. And so what am I getting at here? As long as you have a large amount of oxygen, which is depleting by the year because we deforest things to grow palm trees, to get the palm seed oil, and they're burning all this stuff, and they're clearing out burning the Amazon. They're destroying the oxygen content on Earth. 30 years ago, the oxygen content was about 20 to 25% of the atmosphere. Now it's 16, y'all. So do you kind of see how that can play into your health, and how life on Earth it's been harder to maintain because we create less energy, because we have less oxygen? And what's the other resource on Earth that's becoming scarce? Fresh water. Oil rigs going off in the ocean, radiation, Fukushima leaking into the ocean. Y'all see this stuff? Okay, so let's keep it moving. Let's look at this. Let's look at this real quick. This is very important for you to get. The human body, you see how they broke it up into components. 62% of the body, of the human body, is water. 16% is protein. Another 16% is fat. Do you guys see how important minerals are? Now, don't get me wrong. Everybody is, when you go online, everyone's telling you minerals, food. But you can clearly see, if we're looking at the human composition, the elements in the human body, the most important thing is the air we breathe and the water we drink. And now, if you begin to see the difference between all the holistic healers, let's highlight Dr. Sebi. Dr. Sebi got the best results because Dr. Sebi, he had people doing fasting where they would eat one meal a day. And then he had them doing what? Sluxing down a whole canister of sea moss and sluxing down herbs. And then doing what? Steaming in the steam. Bathing in the sulfuric geothermal waters of Honduras. His therapy was hydrotherapy with intermittent fasting. That's what created his healing. What is the word? What's the right word I'm looking for? His healing testimonials, his healing work, man. I couldn't find the word, but we're just gonna keep it moving. Add a moderator to the live video. Now we good. So look, fam. Now, I've told you all of this to tell you the bomb. I've dropped a few bombs, but I'm going to tell y'all another one. As long as your food has minerals, and you eat little, and you breathe and drink good water, good quality air, good quality water in the right quantity and quality, family, that is the most important thing. If you maximize your breathing and you maximize your water intake, your body will create more energy, and it will circulate, and you will heal. The problem is that people are saying eat plants, and here's the problem with eating a whole bunch of plants and without learning the proper way to transition. Your microbiome is what eats every single thing in your body. You don't eat anything. Your body breaks down the stuff, it goes inside your small intestines, and guess what? The microbacteria inside your microbiome break down the food into smaller components that can then circulate through your body to then absorb it. When your microbiome isn't trained, it doesn't learn how to break these things down efficiently. That's why so many people who go vegan, they have irritable bowel syndrome, they have nutrient deficiencies, their teeth start getting clear and falling out, their hair starts thinning, they have low energy. It's because nobody told them how to transition. And how do you do that? You slowly train your body to eat foods. You incorporate healthier foods slowly. A lot of people go cold turkey, switch one to the other. Nothing in nature is like that. If you take a seed and you plant the seed, and it takes time for the seed to grow into a tree so the tree can bear fruit. Your body, if you have been someone who's been eating the SAD diet, the standard American diet for your whole life, you've been eating, let me see, what's some good stuff I used to eat back in the day? You've been eating your quarter pounder with cheese. You've been eating your church's fries. Oh my God, you've been eating your Subway sandwiches. You've been eating your mom's or your auntie's or your grandma's fried chicken. You've been eating these dead but delicious and pleasure pleasure creating foods when we think about the good times we had when we ate them at Thanksgiving and Christmas and Easter and our birthday and all those times, right? At the end of the day, fam, at the end of the day, you have to understand this. Eating, period, is, and I don't mean to sound religious, even though I look like I might be a Muslim or something. I'm not a Muslim. I have no religion except for love. Eating in itself, listen, eating is evil. I know y'all gonna say like, this man tripping. No, for real. When you eat, you are taking the life of something. The plants feel pain, the animals feel pain. You just can't hear the plants scream. And that's as real as it can get. That's why the more you eat, the faster you die. Because it's the wheel of karma. When you eat and take the life of something, it takes the life of you. Whether or not you eat plants or you eat animals. So if somebody who just says, I'm going to eat fish for the rest of my life, and they eat one piece of fish every day, and then you have someone who eats plants, and that person is following Yaki's regimen, and they're eating fruits all day. They're eating fruits for breakfast, fruits for lunch, fruits for dinner with maybe a salad. That person is eating 3 meals, and because their body is eating so much food and working and trying to break down these carbohydrates, look, that person is going to live shorter than the person that eats that piece of fish. A lot of y'all are not going to agree with me. A lot of y'all are going to say, this man tripping. I'm telling y'all, I am not religious. I look at practicality. I look at science. I look at history. I study energy. And when you study energy, fam, you understand everything is alive. Everything that has a physical body has an electromagnetic field and is conscious. They did the study. If you take the plant, you have 2 watermelons, you cut this watermelon, the watermelon right next to it lets off the shock. And then what begins to happen? That guy, the testicle eater, Paul Saladino, he tells you, and it's true, the plants create defense chemicals. The defense chemicals, listen, defense chemicals are in plants because they're alive and they want to live, and defense chemicals are in animals because they're alive and they want to live. But at the end of the day, you are taking the life force energy of something. So what's the advantages and disadvantages? Am I telling y'all to eat meat? No. Am I telling you to eat plant-based? No. I'm telling you to understand it depends on your environment. Right now, to live in the United States and eat plants and fruits and veggies solely, you know what that means for you? That means that you have to spend a lot of money on herbal supplementation. A lot more money, it just depends on where you go shopping at. If you're gonna go with the name brand, then you're gonna pay that price for the label. If you go to someone like me, I do have a label, but my prices are low. Anyway, shameless plug. But look, check it. Understand. Plants don't have the level of nutrients because for the last almost 100 years, the soil has been depleted, so there's no selenium. There's 75% less iron. The soil is barren, and they only use 6 to 9 minerals to put back into the soil so that they can grow your food. So your food doesn't have the level of nutrients. That's the problem with plant-based. That's the problem with veganism. Even if you're not eating the bad stuff, the Impossible Burger that is impossible to digest and created courtesy of Bill Gates, which wants to see the whole world thrive. Right? He's a good guy. Right? Love that guy. Low key he kind of is because he's killing off the stupidity. But anyway, when you guys don't eat the bad processed vegan stuff and you do eat the healthy plant-based stuff, the fruits, the veggies, the good stuff, you have to understand. You can eat those all day, but you're living in a world that takes away, it pulls nutrients out of you. When you're looking at the screen, it's pulling nutrients because it's costing a higher level of energy. When you're exposed to blue light, when you're exposed to the Wi-Fi that we can't see but we're all communicating on right now, that is having an impact on our body's energy. So I don't care whether or not you eat plants or you eat meat. Now, let me understand. Let me help you understand this. If you eat meat, this is a fact, and everyone will tell you that knows what they're talking about. Meat has more nutrients. Why? Let's go back to the chart right here. I want y'all to see this. I want y'all to understand this. Meat has more nutrients because all of the organs of the body take water and oxygen and create minerals. Y'all want to say, yo, this dude's tripping. This is a fact. Each and every organ in any animal creates minerals. That's why desiccated liver was used for bodybuilding back in the day. Bee pollen, the sperm of the plant collected inside of, on the feet of the bee, mixed with their saliva and something else that I can't remember. The bee pollen is super nutrient dense. Why? Because the plant, the ovaries or the testicles of the plant emanated their life force energy, and someone consumed it. All minerals are created in every single organ of humans and animals. That's the reason why animals have more nutrients. That's the reason why eating a brain, which you could really kind of say like the lion's mane mushroom is kind of like a mushroom brain. That's why it goes directly to the brain, right? It's just a mushroom. And we don't consider it an animal. We don't consider a mushroom being alive, but that's probably more alive than anything else on planet Earth. Right? So, hold on, let's get this card pass. For those of you who don't know, I've been in the DR for a while. This is some typical DR stuff. Blasting music through the streets. Low key like the Spanish hood. But anyway, alright, we're going to take this now. Now, what's the takeaway in all of this? What is it that you absolutely need to know? Family, there are doctors that have existed that have helped people reverse disease with just drinking the right quality of water. There are doctors that are still alive, and I'm going to interview him soon. I'm going to bring him to y'all. They have helped people just use breathing as a superpower to eliminate pain and to get rid of very, very, very intense diseases. So what you need to know, fam, is when you listen to people hyper-emphasize, you need to eat this food, you need to eat your fruit, eat your fruit, eat your fruit, eat your fruit. And y'all probably know I'm talking about my good brother Yaki. I love him. That's my brother. And there's never any contention, because anybody that's doing the human work and helping that much people, they're a divine messenger. I love that brother. But here's what you have to understand. It's not about the fruit as much as it is about the water. People keep saying, eat fruit for H3O2, eat fruit for H3O2, and it's like, yo, chill, stop. Yes, you're eating fruit for the structured water, you're eating it for the pigment because the body needs what? The body uses water because water uses fat, fat uses pigment, and pigment stores charge. So if you don't have the right amount of water, fat, and pigment, you don't get electricity created in the body and circulated through the body. So fruits have a role, but guess what? When you eat too much sugar, that's not natural. That's not natural at all. Think about it. If we grew off of millions of years of evolution by eating the fruit that were in season, do you think you would ever be able to make a smoothie with papaya, blueberry, pineapple, and banana, and you eating all of that in one? No, man. You think you had the option to eat banana and papaya and this and this and this? And don't even get me started if we get into haplotype. That is whether or not you have dark pigmentation or whether or not you have light pigmentation. When we take these variables into consideration, that all of us, even if you're black as charcoal, you still have, maybe from generations past, other DNA inside of you. And you don't know exactly what genetic expression you inherited. All of us are mixed, y'all. So we need to get off of this thing where we're like, yo, oh no, you gotta eat the plants, or no, oh no, you gotta eat the meat. The only difference between eating plants and eating meat is one has less nutrients, one has more nutrients, one does more harm to the planet, because when you feed an animal, there's more water and more grains that has to be given to the animal. But when you're eating a plant, it's less water, and it's pulling the minerals from the soil. But again, plants, minerals, soil, it's totally messed up. Between the genetic modification, between the geoengineering where they're spraying down the aluminum, the strontium, the barium, and those things are going into the soil. And as the plants grow, those metals are interrupting the chemical exchanges just like they're doing inside the human body, which is the reason why babies are being born with more autism. You guys understand what I'm saying? I'm gonna try to slow it down a little bit, but the heavy metals on planet Earth and everything that's going on, where you have hormone disruptors that disrupt your body's ability to communicate cellularly in your water, where you have hormone disruptors where when you're spraying cologne, or fellas, you know, it's summertime, so it's sundress season, you know, when you pass a woman and you smell her fragrance, you're like, man, she smells good. But guess what? You just took a whiff of a scent that literally creates estrogen in your body, that literally confuses and you know, it stupefies the cells. Same thing with you, ladies. If everything in our environment is toxic, then your goal as an intelligent human being is to think bioavailability of minerals. And the way you maximize that, you ready? Take notes. This is a very, very important key. The way you maximize your body's ability to absorb nutrients is by learning how to get your body in a fasting state. You have to. Y'all see me? I mean, you know, this. You know, let me start flexing for the gram a little bit. This is 1 meal a day. I take my minerals. I drink 1.5 gallons of water. But my body is able to take in and grow and maintain its flexibility, maintain its vascularity, maintain its muscle mass. Because I've learned to put my body in a fasting state. And what does that do? This was the secret behind Dr. Sebi's healing as well. When you fast, guess what happens? Your body eats the cells that are bad, the cells that are weak. It uses up all the sugar, and then it goes after the fat. It eats the fat, and inside of the fat, when you break the fat molecule down, the toxins that's stored in it is re-released into the bloodstream and excreted. But your body will use the fat. And then after it uses the fat, guess what it does? It creates the fountain of youth, growth hormone. And if you have growth hormone, you have the same thing that took you from being a child to go through puberty to become a grown, strong adult. Growth hormone. A lot of you may or may not have heard him, but I can't think of his name, but it's the doctor. If you type in the benefits of fasting, you look for the guy, the old guy with the swag that has the hat on, and you watch that whole YouTube on it. Gain all our muscles I want to. No. So I've gained all this muscle and I'm stronger than I've ever been. In college, I was strong, but now I'm more cut and I'm stronger on 1 meal a day. That meal consists of a drink that I drink before eating, and then I'll eat a main meal, which is normally quinoa and beans or mushrooms or fish, and then I'll have maybe a piece of watermelon. The highest level of energy I've ever felt in my life, and so much connectivity. But anyway, look. Dr. Prime James, yeah, that's the guy. Look, doctor said the body doesn't know how to. Dr. Sebi said, let's get into this. Let's get into this. All right, I'm gonna start taking questions now. Here we go. Dr. Sebi said, Tantra, I'm gonna pin your comment. Dr. Sebi said, the body doesn't know how to digest meat, and that it rots inside the digestive system. Dr. Sebi ate meat. Whether you put plants or you put meat inside the body, hydrochloric acid melts it down, and depending on how you've trained your microbiome, they take that food and they absorb it. Meat has minerals. Your body doesn't know what the hell the food is that you're eating. Your body knows if you put something in, the thing that you're trying to consume, it's looking for minerals, it's looking for pigments, it's looking for fats. So, look, fam, I love y'all. I need you to get this. You've been conditioned to believe things. And based upon your belief, you've gone tunnel vision. You need to expand your awareness. Expand it. Because if you live in the States and all you eat is you can do it. You can eat your plants and vegetables, and it'll make you feel better because, you're using less resources on the earth. But if you don't supplement, you're screwed. You're screwed. And then eating meat in the States is complicated. To be honest, if I was living in the States, that's why I don't live in the States. Nobody can pay me $1 million, $2 million, $3 million a year to live in the States because the environment is fully cooly woolly. It's hullabaloo. It's a smorgasbord. It's a circus. Food is too complicated in the U.S. That's why I live in the Caribbean. The DR is magnificent. They are the melting pot of the Caribbean, exporting all the avocados, all the mangoes, all the fruit. I have a tree across from my house over here. I've been here for 9 months. Y'all, that tree it has grown mangoes 4 times since I've been here. But anyway, for those of you who live in the Caribbean, we usually have a season. It's all year round mango season, all year round avocado season. And I love me some avocados. But anyway, so we answered that question. Meat doesn't just, everything in your body ferments. People will say, oh man, fruits don't ferment, veggies don't ferment, meat decays in the gut. Oh man, fermentation is, look up the word. Fermentation is the process of breaking down a substance. If you take a banana peel and you throw it out in the soil, you know what's going to happen? It's going to begin to decay. It's going to begin to ferment. And the mycelium is going to then eat the banana and redistribute those nutrients through the entire mycelium network. That's Mother Nature at play. All right, so look, let me get to these questions. Supplement, what if you choose the plant-based life, B12 and what else? Okay, this is a perfect question. Whether or not you're plant-based or you're meat-based, you still need a supplement. When you're meat-based, what you really need to do is do heavy metal cleanse because the meat has a lot of metals in it. And you need to make sure you're drinking, both people need to be making sure they're drinking a lot of structured water, doing a lot of breathing and lymphatic drainage. But when you eat plants, y'all, plants and meat, you need vitamin D3. You need vitamin D3, you need K2, you need omega-3s. Everybody, I don't care if you're eating meat or you're eating plants, you need omega-3, you need D3. If you're eating meat, you don't need B vitamins. You don't need B1, B2, B3, B4, B5, B6, B12. You don't need those things because you're getting a bunch of it inside of the meats. But when you plant-based and you're not able to get the right rich soil to then be eaten by the plant, to then have the minerals in your food, and then even then you still need to supplement. I'm telling y'all, these are the facts. Here's why. I'm gonna drop y'all a gem. Y'all ready? Super gem. What does vitamin D3? Can anybody tell me what is the role of vitamin D3 in the body? I'm gonna give y'all a second to answer. What is the role of vitamin D3 in the body? Kale, K2. Look, kale is, I'm not going to say it's a hybrid and it's bad. Kale is just very difficult to break down. Kale is very difficult to break down. It's extremely fibrous. And that's the other thing people don't get about a plant-based diet. If you're eating fiber and you're not moving, that fiber can become toxic if you're not moving. If your body isn't creating peristalsis, it's sitting in the gut and it's sitting there and it's effing you up. Period. Your body is not meant to have things sit in there. Your body's not meant to be eating 3 meals a day, not even really 2 meals a day. Our bodies evolved from eating 1 meal every other day. And now we're in this great time period on earth, and because everything is in excess, we eat in excess. Eating less is the key to healing. Now back to herbal supplementation. Herbal supplementation, what is the function of D3? He said D3 is a hormone, calcium absorption, bone health, bone strength, hormone, but it helps with the immune system. It helps absorb calcium. Those are some good answers, y'all. Let me give it to y'all. Ready? And let's look at this. This is gonna blow your mind. Let's check this out. I will tell you that vitamin D3 is what allows the cell to maintain its structure. Without vitamin D3, the cells lose structure. Without structure, the organelles inside of the cell no longer have the right amount of space, and guess what? The cell can't thrive. It's like you trying to live in a tiny house for your whole life. You try to live in a tiny house, but you need space to be a painter. You can't paint outside. Without D3, the cell doesn't have that shape. Without the shape and structure, it can't perform its function. All right, check. Now, what's the other thing we know about D3? Vitamin D3 is made naturally when we're exposed to the sun. When you have vitamin D, when you get sunlight, the sunlight hits the skin takes the cholesterol, sends it down to the liver, and it creates D3. D3 is not just a precursor to bone health, it is the hormone that literally helps the body maintain its high level of energy, which is part of the reason when you have people that get in the sun and they get that vitamin D or hormone D, what happens? What happens, y'all? You know, people want to give and get the D. Why? Because it's the precursor to testosterone, the hormone that's involved with your willpower, your desire, your drive to go get things. So what do we understand there? What can we get from that? I'm going to give you all a second to digest this. We get D3 from the sun. We get D3 from plants that are exposed to the sun, aka sea moss. We get D3 from, you can get it from multiple sources. I have a supplement that I use. Actually, I'll show y'all in my stories as we come on. I use that supplement religiously because I understand even if I'm in a tropical environment and it's blazing hot, because D3 is the thing that maintains the cellular structure, and I know the cell phones that I use, I know the computers that I use, I know that the radiation, the sea of electromagnetic waves that I'm in destroys what? It interferes with the structure of my cells. That's why everyone is D3 deficient. Vegans, Caribbean people, animal-based people, we're all vitamin D deficient. And then they increase it by spraying the geoengineering chemtrails. Without vitamin D, you can't feel joy, which is why in the wintertime people get depressed. So now I want you to understand this. And before I say this, I want to really, really say, if y'all do not know me, if you guys don't know me by now, I am not religious and I am not judgmental. I love all people because we are all one. We've become different species because of our different environments and different cultures and the things that have shaped us. But we're all reflections of each other. And we're all human beings on this planet Earth, breathing the same air that Jesus himself breathed, drinking the same water that the Buddha drank, sharing and recycling the same minerals that are in all of our bodies. When we die, naturally we're supposed to go back into the earth, and the earth recycles our minerals and gives it back to the creature that then keeps the cycle of life going. But all of that to say, depending on your haplotype, whether or not you are super, super dark or melanated, or you are super, super light or melanin recessive or not so melanated, you can see the difference in the two by their exposure to the sun. One group of people had exposure to the sun over thousands and thousands of years, and they became dark in complexion. They lived in environments where they had fruit. They lived in abundance. So their culture was different. They trusted one another, and they were super spiritual. Another group of people didn't have the sun, so they didn't have vitamin D. If you don't have vitamin D, your whole biochemical process is different. In those cold environments, they had to compete and kill in order to get the meat from the animals that lived in the area. It's too different. The point I'm trying to make is, nothing is good or bad. Stop it. Don't think like that. The point I'm trying to make is, the genetics and the mineral requirements are different. So, you know, let me shout out to my sister Nico. We are not the same, right? At the end of the day, we are one people, but we're different parts of the body of the things that are necessary to experience on planet Earth. You have to learn to eat for your haplotype, y'all. For those of you who are melanin recessive, like my grandfather, you have to eat a fish oil. You have to. And when you're in between like me, you have to get some type of omega-3. You have to. When you are super dark, then guess what? You need more pigments and you need more sun. And if you don't have sun, then guess what? You have to eat D3 even more than the person that is of lighter pigmentation. So, let me see these questions. Nico's book, We Are Not the Same. Exactly. Yeah, shout out to her, man. I love my sister, man. She's a genius. I can't wait to have some combos with her with y'all. So look, let me see who's here. Let's see who's here. Josh Fernandez. If y'all want to jump on live and get a question in, you can get a question in. I have to answer someone from in the group, and they ask some questions, and I have to address them. Uh-oh. I don't see it there. Let's see. Let's see. All right. The biggest takeaway. This was the big solution. For those of you who are still watching, you know this came about because I was inspired because Billy Carson finally opened up the door by telling everyone that he went vegan and it almost killed him. You know, even though I don't think in the clip he told people the reason why. It was kind of like clickbait. But here's the big thing, y'all. He said go to your doctor to make sure that you can get your minerals tested. Y'all, if you are still considering to give blood to a doctor to know what minerals are in your body, you're still like you're back in the day using the phone to dial people. It's still like you're doing dial-up internet service. You know, trying to download the LimeWire so you can get your videos in. That's what you're doing. Because we live in 2023, y'all. Everything, the technology is not just your enemy, the technology is also your friend. I've been using bioresonance technology for almost 4 years now. 4 years. With your sound, it can tell you every single thing that's going on in your body, even down to the emotion. You guys ever heard about the guy, Billy Carson talked about him too, the guy who you know, some genius in some Ivy League school, he invented something that he puts right here, and then with the thoughts in his mind, because the thoughts have a vibration and there's a bone right here, the bone vibrates to the thoughts, and his machine was able to basically take those vibrations and translate them. And he was able to, in real time, someone asked him a question. He thought the question, Googled it, and got the answer and heard it. If we are able to do that, that's an absolute fact, don't you think that's already been reverse engineered, y'all? This technology that I'm telling y'all about, this was done way back when Dr. Royal Raymond Rife was alive. That was the gentleman that found the frequencies that shattered cancer, that shattered diabetes, that shattered sciatic pain, that shattered HIV. He found that frequencies could be used to create resonance. Now, I know I might be losing some of y'all because I'm using big words. If it don't make sense, this is going to be on YouTube, and it's going to be able to access it, so you don't have to scroll through Instagram and get your attention span pulled and get pulled away. Family, if you want to know what your current fatty acid ratio, your vitamin D3, your B vitamins, your C, your A, your grounding time, your everything, you can get that done wherever you are, because all you need to do is get your profile set up and get in the right space and project your voice, and it will read your voice and tell you, are your iron levels okay? Are your magnesium levels okay? What are the health of your organs? Is your liver having a problem? Is your gallbladder having a problem? Is the central nervous system, is this spine in this area having a problem? Is this meridian blocked because of this negative emotion? It tells you all of that. So, the question I want to ask y'all, because all of you who are on the live right now, you guys are thinkers. That's the only way you can listen to me. You guys are able to, you've gone through enough information to be able to know what I'm telling you is the absolute truth. For those of you who just heard me say that, and it's a fact, right? I'm gonna have to drop the video to show you guys. Actually, it's on my page right now. It's in on my website. You can see how it looks like. You can see the charts that are given to you with the voice. If that's the technology that's released, what technology do you actually think is available right now? I can tell you I'll beyond a shadow of a doubt. Everything that's being done is being measured. Your cell phone right now, that's always listening to you, is taking your biometric readings. Period. That's part of the reason why your cells are impacted the way they're impacted. Because in order to scan your body, there's an exchange taking place. There's always an exchange taking place. Because remember, you look solid, but you're really energy solidified into matter, courtesy of the brain. Okay? So I need y'all to begin to think outside the box. Get outside of the religion of thinking so rigidly about health. Plants versus meat. You know what's worse? Being in a state of confusion and not understanding what your body needs. If you need help, if you don't know what your stuff is and you want to know what it is, just get the bioresonance scan. I'm gonna do something with a special with y'all so more people can just get it. You get one every season, that's more than enough. You don't need to flip-flop or just guess with your health. You don't just eat fruit and take a bunch of minerals. Look, let me show y'all something. Hold on, let me find it. There was a gentleman that reached out to me and he told me, I need y'all to see this. Oh, man, I didn't save it. He drank, when you buy in these minerals from people, you need to understand, everybody is just putting together these hormone formulations. And as I said, 3 years ago, what is disease? I'm gonna start giving away some stuff. What is disease, Tom? I want to hear some answers. What do you recommend for individuals dealing with depression and lack of willingness to live? Ocean Garden Portal. Is that a trick question, my sister? Well, we know that person needs to have a bit more of hormones that make them feel good. That person needs to get the sun, and that person needs to have an orgasm. If they're blocked up to the point where they can't even experience pleasure, that person just needs love. They need a hug. They need to go out in nature, take microdose of mushrooms, and chill out. That person needs to begin, I got it. Thank you, Indiana. The person who's dealing with depression and doesn't want to live needs to begin to visualize a different life. If someone is that depressed, that means they're trapped by emotions of the past. Or they're so trapped in the past that they have anxiety about the future. But they're still dealing with being in the past. They're not present. So that person needs to begin to get outside of their body, because those emotions of the past have them trapped inside their body. But if you can guide them to being inside their body, to now feeling the room outside of their body, to now going further back and now they're in the stratosphere, to going further back and now they can see the earth, to going further back and now they're looking at Mars, further back they're going to Jupiter, further back they're going to Pluto, further back they're going to the Milky Way, further back they're going to Andromeda, further back they're going, and they see all of these bright lights like the stars. That person will be so far away. What you put in your mind is what your body creates in real time in your body. So that person is going to be so far away from the blocked energy of the trauma that's been caught up in them. Then in that space, if you can get them to see their life the way they want to see it, and you can get them to hold that, then when they come back into their body, the time that they spent outside of their body mentally will begin to correct. It will unblock all of the effed up emotions, all of the the toxins that have been trapped in the fascia because of that negative energy. That is what you do for people that have depression and they want to commit suicide. That is actually the meditation that we're going to be doing. The brain-heart coherence that I'm going to be guiding y'all through, the 7-day free transformational experience. That's what we're going to be doing. Except I'm priming you all because you guys have to watch Bruce Almighty, you have to watch Inside Out from Disney, and you have to watch The Matrix. That's going to prime your subconscious mind in the way that I need it to be primed so that all of us can have the synergy and create that resonance with each other. It's going to be great. But, Crown Bull Heart, hey man, thank you man, thank you bro, thank you fam. This is all just subconscious mind stuff, by the way. I'm not a Muslim, y'all. Yeah, my religion is love. The crown is there, and the red is there, and the white is there all for a reason, right? Disease equals cells no longer doing what they're supposed to do. Good. Butterfly Adisa. Disease is a lack of flow. What's your take on toxoplasma? Hold on, let me get this here. Religious people choose what to focus on. Disease is an overgrowth of inflammation in the body. Y'all, everybody's saying the same thing in a different way. Understand this. When you have disease, you have the lack of the cell's ability to create energy and circulate it. If you have a negative experience in your life that was traumatic, you store it in your body based upon what the emotion was and what the experience was. All of those emotions are stored in the meridian system that has a corresponding organ. So you know how they say, stress is stored in the brain, anger is stored in the liver, fear is stored in the kidneys, right? Anger or hate, anger is stored in the heart. You know, depression is stored in the lungs. All of those emotions from all of those experiences that you had, they either create or destroy your health. So when you have something that's happened that you can't change, you got to do what Maya Angelou said. What she said? She said, if you can't change the situation, you can change how you feel about it. Y'all, I need y'all to understand what I'm saying, because this is, this is the bread and butter of health. Everything that you do right now is extremely important, because everything has been designed to work against you. So you have to begin to learn your body on these levels. You cannot just believe, you have to know. You can't just use one side of your brain, you have to become a whole brain thinker. And you have to learn to feel with your heart. Because the brain can go back and forth and ping and pong. Belief is a hell of a drug, right? All truths are half-truths. So if you believe something, then you can find the information on planet Earth to prove that your belief is true. But the truth is always, it's almost shifting. Because everything in the universe wants to be balanced, yet the only constant in the universe is change. Look at you. We have to inhale. We can't just inhale, we have to exhale. We can't just have sunlight all the time, we need to have moonlight. Everything is polarity. So you have to understand, truth shifts based upon your genetics, your lifestyle, and your environment. What is most functional for you is your truth. And you have to learn it. Because if you don't learn it, y'all, it's too much people on social media picking up a camera and getting some really fine editors and creating a whole marketing plan, and they're going off. A detox, even my 20-day group detox, even though it's the best shit on the internet right now, I will never tell anybody a 20-day detox is going to heal you. That's irresponsible. It's your lifestyle that's going to heal you. That's why you need to have a whole understanding of the information. You can't just take one thing. The placebo effect of your belief that herbs are going to heal you is not going to last. And that's what's happening with people right now. Stop relying on herbs and food. Get into the fundamentals. What we went through tonight on the live is the fundamentals. And at the root of it is feeling. You have to learn to feel good. Look, I don't care whether or not you broke, you have a good amount of money, or you're rich, 7 digits in the bank. Each and every one of us have those things in our lives that create resistance. We have those things that are going to challenge us. We have those things that are going to bring us these emotions that don't feel good. And the true test of living, the true test of real spirituality is learning how to face both the thing that makes you feel bad and both the things that make you feel good, and open the door to both of them, because both of them are your teachers. Both of them are your family members. Both of them are absolutely necessary. You have to learn how to be at peace in the face of anger and bullshit and insanity, because it's only when you're able to create that peace internally that you're able to now create space for what it is that you want to actually come forth. See, it's hard for me to put on a tone of wanting to save people, because I've realized for me to hold that inside my heart is to create a situation where people need saving. If people realize, people have to be exposed to things enough until they reach the point where they say, I don't want that anymore. Right? Like the movie, After Earth, Will Smith, when the creature was pinning him to the ground, he says, I don't want that in my shoulder anymore. And he took it out. And he realized fear was a choice, right? That's the beauty of God's grace of earth. We get to choose, y'all. So if the moon is getting ready to crash into the earth in 9 or 13 days, are you going to cry about it? Or are you going to take every single day to maximize each and every moment? Are you going to cry about it, or are you going to spend quality time with your daughter? Are you going to hug your mother? Are you going to reach out to the people that you wish you had talked to because you lost connection with, because you fell out because of some egotistical dumb shit? Family, any negative energy, any negative thought, any negative emotion that you internalize in your body is the biggest toxin that you have right now, and you carry it, and it doesn't get detoxed. Because feelings are like energy. Energy can never be created or destroyed. It's transferred, right? It's transferred or transformed or transmuted. So family, let me tell y'all some personal stuff, right? Because I realized I only just now got over this. For those of you who have been with me for a while, or for those of you who are new, I was in the BWO started by 19 Keys, when it was started maybe 3 years ago. And that was a catastrophic experience. I lost a whole bunch of money when my baby was in the belly, and it really pissed me off hardcore, because I didn't like the lack of accountability for the situation on his part. But I didn't realize, here's what I didn't realize. My lady told me to go watch the video that he did with Billy Carson, and I just couldn't do it. And I had to sit with those emotions, and I realized I couldn't listen to him because I still had internalized anger, frustration from listening to someone that a part of me that no longer exists felt, shouldn't get that much attention because they're not really doing this. All this critique, all this criticism, I stored that inside of me. And I had to let that shit go. And as I let it go, guess what? There was a whole different change in my body. Why? Because now the fascia is relaxed. If you don't know what the fascia is the white kind of protein-like, gel-like matrix that coats your muscle. Memories are stored inside there. So when you were rejected, fellas, from the girl that you had a serious crush on, or ladies, you were rejected from the guy that you basically threw yourself at, that was internalized in you. And you have to go back to that experience mentally and learn to let it go. That's the toxin that fucks everything up. And nobody's talking about this. You can take all of the raw vegan food. You can eat all the herbs. But if you don't deal with the emotions, you're fucked. And I could tell y'all this. I'm sorry for my French. I'm just passionate, and I'm no longer wearing a filter to try to appease you. I gotta be me. And, I use curse words because they're words of passion. People say fuck is a bad word, but right now there are probably 1 million people saying it in pure ecstasy, right? So, family, I have people that I know in my life that I love. They are magical people. They have been raw vegan. They live the life. They take the herbs. You know, 2 of them have cancer and 1 got a stroke. You know, it's unbelievable. And it almost feels like it's not fair. You know, a part of me gets really upset and really wants to tear up because it's, those are people that I love very much. And they followed the playbook. They do the spirituality. They're magical. They take the herbs. They give back to others. But they're sick. And why is that? Because the game is rigged, family. It's not about food. It's about your heart. It's about learning to deal with those emotions and resolving them. Because everything that happened in the past and everything that will happen in the future is happening right now inside of you. Especially the things of the past. They're stored in you and they're alive. So you have to learn how to do the work. That's part of the reason why, for those of you who did the detox, my 20-day group detox, I give you guys those breathing techniques. I give you guys that music playlist. I reinforce for you to, before you take your herbs, before you drink what you're going to drink, which I'm going to take a little sip of this now, royal jelly ginseng. I tell them to hold whatever it is that they're going to take, and I say, look, you said, I am grateful for life. I'm so thankful for the opportunity to create the perfect life for me. I'm so grateful to be alive. I'm so grateful to be able to be. If you do that, and then whatever you're getting ready to take, you take it, now you've opened up those pathways inside of your body that allow everything to be absorbed. Now you've structured the water in your body with the quality of the emotion that has a form and has a function in your body. Thankfulness, gratitude, and forgiveness are the magic recipe that nobody can sell you. It doesn't come in a bottle. You have to learn how to use this. And if you don't know how to let this guide this, you won't get it. So. All right. Let's see what y'all got for me. Do you guys have any questions? Do you think it's bad to put hot temperature foods in the body? Again, family, you're thinking in terms of good or bad. Hot foods in the body have a function if your environment is cold. Hot foods in the body have an effect of opening up the pores so your body will sweat. Everything in the universe wants to be in balance. Remember this. Everything in the universe wants to be balanced. So if you really understand that, and you really understand the sun doesn't shine all day, the moon comes out to play, then what? Then guess what? Listen to your body. We think too much, family. Don't think. Feel. Right? Like Bruce Lee said, you got to learn to feel and talk to your body. Your body is always talking to you. You have to learn how to listen. But all of us, it's harder and harder to listen because things are continually being forced down our throats. And now we've gotten to the point as a society that we do it willingly. Look, man. Do I have a YouTube? This video will be on YouTube, but I have some other live streams from the past that's going to be put on YouTube. I'm taking on. For those of you who are listening, I want to say thank you, and please tell somebody, like the video, share it. I do need to get a bit more exposure, and I'm going to be incentivizing y'all to help me do so, because more people need to see someone that's being real. Need to see someone that knows what they're talking about, and that's okay to my people that have a large following but don't really know, so you're just making videos with what you think is best. That's okay. We all start from different places. I overthink and I over prepare. So I've been here now studying for 12 plus 13 years now. You know, it's ridiculous. I'm not the person to do a whole bunch of marketing. People tell from word of mouth. And when you guys begin to see, well, people, when they reverse the herpes, they never want to do a video because, you know, they slept with other people and they don't want the world to see them in a light where they ever had herpes. But, you know, I have cases, and the one's going to come up soon so you guys can see it's possible to reverse disease and still eat fish and still drink a little red wine from time to time and have a blast with your peoples. Why? Because it's emotions. It's all about emotions, water, breathing, lymphatic drainage. And when you get those things down, when you understand this chart, and when you understand this chart, if you guys are just seeing it, I showed it earlier. When you understand this chart right here, then you automatically break the spell. The spell that most people tell you that you need to focus on food and herbs. So fam, I've given it to y'all. If you guys have questions, I'll answer it, because you know I love to help. I love to teach. Boy said, how much oil must to put in a gallon of water? I wouldn't put any more than a teaspoon, and it depends on your consciousness. That's something you have to intuitively listen to. The one that I have, it'll be no more than a teaspoon because it's really potent. All right, let's see. I'm glad this will be on YouTube. I'll share with many of our ones. Thank you so much, sis. I really appreciate that. What should you drink? What should you eat and drink for the kidney? Sister D. Is that Sister D from Atlanta? I don't know. If it is, then one love. But here's what I'll tell you for the kidneys. It'll change your whole life. Put your hands on your kidneys, bend your knees, and breathe and jump. And as you jump, let the hands rub across the kidneys. You're going to move the fascia of the kidneys. You're going to generate that piezoelectricity because of the palm being on the kidneys. And it's going to add energy directly to the kidneys. The second thing you want to do is go to Mantak Chia or 6 Healing Sounds and get the sound for the kidneys. I know it, and I can show you right now. It's basically when you put your hands on your knees and you lean forward like this and you go. And what you want to do is visualize you are exhaling from the kidneys. Your kidneys are messed up because of the emotion of fear that you stored in there. The fear created the blockage, which created the energetic problem, which created the mineral problem. Get it? So when you start with the water intake, and minerals for it are, think removal of foods. Replace foods that you currently know you're eating that you shouldn't be eating with things that are cleaner. All right? Eat a watermelon for one meal. Eat all your food within a 5-6 hour window. If you eat less, then your body isn't going to waste energy digesting the food, and now it's going to be able to heal your kidneys. But you need to deal with it from a multifaceted approach and not just a linear approach. You have to see what in your environment is triggering the subconscious fear that is continually replaying in your mind, which is creating the problem in your body. What is the opposite of fear? Joy, right? Joy. So look at things that make you joyful. Sing the Pharrell, because I'm happy. Sing it. Sing it. Get the Inner Peace playlist and choose your favorite song, or look up the group Beautiful Chorus and look for the song that says, I am joy. I am joy. And they sing it in a melody. And as that begins to saturate your brain, remember, whatever you put into your head, your body creates, because whatever you visualize and you repeat in the mind, the body makes real. That's why the body never lies, family. If something is going on in your body, it's because you created it. You chose it, whether or not it was consciously or unconsciously. right? This is just what it is. Is there a download of these charts available? Young Velt, no, but I do for people that are in the group and they want it. I'll just post it and share it with them. You just message me and I send it to you. The group isn't open yet. I'll be opening it at the end of the month. It's gonna be a new group. Trace minerals on Amazon, recommend with distilled water. Josh Fernandez. I don't recommend any of the Ormus except for the one from Hawaii. There's an Ormus from Hawaii if you're gonna get it. I have mine soon. When I do, yeah, it's gonna be pretty good because the guy that I have, he's really super dope. So it'll be super cost effective. I'm actually gonna be giving it away for people who subscribe because it'll be like inclusion. So like you'll save all the money you won't even be paying. I just want people to be active. I want people to really participate in the community because I want to build something where people can be themselves, where you can talk and not know and feel okay to ask without feeling embarrassed. Where if you have herpes, you can be like, I'm healing from herpes, or you have this, you can feel okay because you know it's a safe space. To me, I think that's what's most needed the most, like community, people you could be real with. People that you can say whatever the fuck it is that's on your mind and you know they're not going to judge you because we've created that space where you can be yourself. I think that's the biggest thing that no one talks about that creates all the disease on earth. Trying to shape yourself to the expectations of others is killing you. So, very critical union, truths and theories. Well, yeah, some of them are theories. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Still, does distilled water really strip you of minerals? Distilled water pulls things out of your body. It can pull out good things and it can pull out bad things. Most people's body are full of shit. So if you drink it, it's gonna pull a lot of stuff out. The problem is, most people are mineral deficient. So as it's cleaning the body out, it's pulling things that have good functions and bad functions. Because the things that are bad bind to things that are good. Because why? Everything in the universe wants to be what? Balance. Right? So, alright fam, let's see. Can we do the same for calcified lymph nodes in the neck? If you have calcified lymph nodes in the neck, you need to drain it. So, with lymph nodes in the neck that are messed up, you go like this, and you breathe. Here's the breath that you do, right? You go like this. And then you go here. Found it. Then you go back here. Look this way. Look this way. You need to move the lymph in order to drain the lymph nodes. A lot of people are getting swollen lymph nodes now because they're detoxing for too long. Right? You detox, but you're not going to the gym. You're not walking. You're not sweating. It's backwards, family. You're supposed to be drinking water and working out in the right way before you take the minerals. Because if you don't do that, your lymph gets blocked up and you're not even hydrated enough to absorb the minerals. Family, there's a reason why the people that really follow the instructions in my protocol and just listen to my advice, they get results. It's because I start from the fundamental principle. The things that people can't sell you, I have to teach you first. Then you can get into the minerals. Y'all, for those of you who are on the live, I've probably told you that so many times. They say, what herb do I need to buy? I tell them, no, don't buy no herbs. Get the protocol. You don't get the protocol first. And then I give the deal so sweet. I say, look, all right, you know what? Buy this herb, but I'm going to give you the protocol so that you can get both of them. Because you need both. I can't short you like that, man. I had different type of teachers. I cannot just do the marketing thing. Herbs, food. No, man. it's like Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? In the gym. I love the pump. It's impressive, but it's very single-minded. I want y'all to get healthy. So I'm going to tell you what it is. Who had the biggest impact on my foundation of knowledge and way of thinking? Dehudi, Sebi, or Eret? If I'm honest, out of those three, it'll have to be Sebi, but not the Sebi that most people have come to know. Sebi in the sense that he taught me how to look at it as energy, because that's what made Sebi great. Sebi was excellent at what he did. Well, not just because he understood the body as electricity, right? And then he reverse engineered what he saw in the motor and how the machines made electricity. He reverse engineered that with the elements in the body, which is why we talked about him doing the hydration therapy. But Sebi a little more than every one of those, because Sebi taught that people don't listen to what you say. He taught people listen to how that you make them feel. Sebi told stories, and stories are mnemonic devices that engage your visual learning, your auditory learning, and your kinesthetic learning, your sense of feeling, right? So by telling people stories, which is what I'm absolutely going to begin doing a lot more, they feel what you're saying more, and people do what they feel inclined to. That's the facts. That's why so much people follow people, because those people create all these pieces of information that become seeds in people's minds, and now that person becomes connected to that particular feeling in that person. And that's why the whole world is the way it is now, because everyone's just creating content so that they can push more seeds out. You know, why put one seed when you can just automatically, you can throw out 10,000 seeds, right? And ChatGPT just made it worse. Which is part of the reason why, even though I don't feel up to the task of creating all that content, I'm gonna lean on y'all to share this information, because y'all know the stuff I'm giving you here is completely different. There's only a few people in the world that do the stuff that I'm doing right now, and in the way that I'm doing it, currently there's none, period. And that's not ego, that's just me keeping it real. That's why my bio is the way it is. You know, that's why you add minerals to distilled water, absolutely. Can I put herbs in distilled water to structure it? Absolutely. Minerals structure water. Pigments structure water. Whatever you put in water, water is going to form and assimilate the structure, like the Pokemon Ditto. Once it saw another Pokemon, it became that, right? Like the amoeba in Spider-Man 3. Once it latched onto Spider-Man, it became Spider-Man, to the point where when it snapped off, it became Venom, right? Mimicking the cellular structure of Spider-Man without him, right? How big is your meal for the day? You're gonna get the protocol, man. It's just a good size. It's a good size. I'll say I'm getting about 1,700 calories a day. I changed my big to full joy. That's the first word I hear when I can't. I changed my body to full joy. Oh, that's joyful. Alma Bonita, please tell them about the Inner Peace playlist. Look, family, I'm so intentional with everything I do. I prepared for years for this next few months coming. What you guys are getting ready to get, it's nothing short of amazing. I put just as much thought as the creators of Final Fantasy VII put into that game is what I put into this that I'm doing right now. And if y'all don't know what that means, you know, I don't know how the way to say it, man. Like, I'm gonna be giving y'all all the information and the way to get the best quality herbal supplementation at the cheapest price by bundling it all together. And then when you get results, I'm gonna pay you for it. Nobody's doing that. Everyone's just, riding this wave of giving information. Nah, the only thing I'm gonna be giving y'all is the opportunity to heal yourself and then share that with others so that you can begin to free yourself from trading your time for money. Right? So let's go. How do I subscribe? I don't know how to do it from your end. You may have touched on this already, but spring water not as good as distilled water. I drink Deer Park. Rouge en Claw. My sister, you are in the group too. But it's okay, I got you. Love. Um, Spring water, I don't recommend it because the springs are contaminated, y'all. Distilled water loses all the things that are inside of it because it goes from being a liquid, it evaporates to a gas, and then they catch it. So the water's lost everything. That's why it's distilled. Distilled water is what they would call neutral water, or what extremists would say is dead water. But dead water becomes life water when you put the things of life in it. Minerals will structure your water. Period. End of story. You take the distilled water, you squeeze a lemon in it, it's alive. Period. It's way better to me than getting spring, which you don't know what's in it. You don't know. So I'm gonna get the water that has the purest slate, tabula rasa, clean slate, Latin. All right, so look. All right, fam. Let's see what we got here. I am going to, inorganic minerals is in a lot of bottled water. Yes! Why? Again, because our environment is being terramorphed by governments that are trying to block out the radiation from the sun, that's trying to come down and penetrate your skin so that it can signal the activation of your own liberation. Aluminum, strontium, borium, arsenic, mercury, they're all these heavy metals everywhere. And those metals are the inorganic minerals. When you say inorganic, let's be specific here. Something that's inorganic is inabsorbable. It's inabsorbable when it doesn't come in combination with other things that are synergistic to it. Minerals have relationships just like people, right? Starsky and Hutch, Bonnie and Clyde, just like people, minerals have relationships. That's why mineral combinations are very important. That's why you can't just put herbs together. All of my herbs are made from a master herbalist. Period. Yes, I tweaked out some of the formulas here and there, but I took the guidance. The detox herbs that I use are 25 plus years that have been used, super effective. I just took the herbs and I put it with a system that's never been used, that focuses on what we spoke about in the live right now. So, there's no conversation. If you want to be healthy, you can start right now for free by getting all the free materials and go through that. Then when you really want to take the next step, you do the 20-day group detox. Then when you want to take the next step, you do the course. The course is getting ready to be released. And I'm about to give you a whole bunch of stuff. You might not be able to articulate it like me, but you're going to know it. You're going to know it from experience. Because when you do those 3 things that we spoke about in this video, weight loss happens without you even having to switch what you eat. I'm going to say it again. You do not have to change the food that you eat to lose waste or fat from your body. You need to understand that when you eat in a specific way at a particular time of the day, and you're drinking the right quality of water, and you're pumping the lymph by doing the right kind of breathing, your body is going to eliminate the waste. It's just that simple. That's it, fam. So look, can I put the link for the Inner Peace playlist here? Absolutely, Nancy. Go ahead and drop it in there. Share it with whoever. I'm not finicky about that. I'm actually going to begin to let everybody get all of the resources by commenting on my posts when I post it. I'm going to be like, yo, if you want to get the Inner Peace playlist, say the word Inner Peace, and it's going to be sent right to your DM. And boom. Same thing with the food list, same thing with the detox, same thing with the transformational movie list, same thing with what else is in there? The food list, right? Which I have to change a little bit because as you learn more, you do better. I'm going to subscribe to do for the better. Go start, Hush, Final Fantasy 7. yeah, man. As a nice baby, for the real way. And you know what the transformational movie list is for? The transformational movie list is to allow us to have the same language when we speak. Because if you haven't seen The Matrix, then I can't reference Matrix things and that'll help you understand what I'm saying. And then when you see those movies, I'll be able to tell you certain things that's going to make you automatically understand it. Right? So, any which way from, let me drink my water. I'm gonna take one more question, and then we done for the night. Excuse me. What group? I haven't been in a minute. So everybody who did the 20-day group detox, there's a private group to that. But I'm relaunching it in a new application so that everything is a bit more organized and I can reward people for being active in the community. So that's going to be coming at the end of the month along with the course, and it's going to be biblical. All right? For those of you who have seen Law-Abiding Citizen. Question, I have a crack on my neck, so throughout the day, you're going to be the last question, in my opinion. Here we go. Hold on one second, let me see it. I have a crack in my neck so much throughout the day. If I don't get odd sensations on places, no MRI reveals anything. Would you take a guess at it for me? You were in an accident about 10 years ago. I don't have to take a guess, I already know. So when you get in an accident, I worked for a chiropractor back in high school. It was my school to work study. Dr. Marla Williams, shout out to the Williams family over there in St. Croix and in Trinidad. When you get in an accident, it usually shifts your spine a little bit. If you have a crank in your neck, 9 times out of 10, it's because that 10 years ago something happened and it shifted it. And now you're feeling a crank in your neck and they can't find anything. You probably just need an adjustment, man, to be honest. If it's not an adjustment, then it's something that happened negative that you've stored right there. So what you need to do is get into a heightened state of awareness and talk to the pain. I know that sounds a little woofy poo-poo, poofy woo-woo, but it's not, it's absolutely a fact. Feel the cringe, touch it, to connect with it, and ask it, what's here? You might get a picture, you might hear a sound, you might see a person, but dive into it. And as you do that, then you'll know what you need to do in order to transform it so the fascia around there can be released, so more oxygen can get to the area, and with that oxygen, the cells are going to create energy, and you won't have any problems. All right? Oh, for sure. How do I go about obtaining the frequency sound mineral check? Tantra 369. That's a dope name. I love that. Just click the link in my bio. Go to my website and just type in total body scan. For anybody that wants to get the scan done, I have to do a few this week, but get it now. Total body scan. As a matter of fact, if you need a little help because you stretch for bread, I might give you a little code or something. But you could pay with Sezzle, so you pay over the course of a week. And I might even be keen enough to just throw in some herbs. I don't know. It just depends on you. If you share with me what's going on with you and you really need help, I'm always open to helping people if they're open to put in the work. Because to me, what's more important than collecting the bread is making sure that you get the results. Because if you get the results, then you're going to be euphoric, you're going to be amped, and then you're going to go out and share that joy, that excitement with others, and then we can begin to create the snowball effect. So, I'm a teacher, and I do value my time, but giving is very important, right? And I do what I do because I love it. And we need to learn how to do that if we're going to do anything right on this planet, right? Stop thinking about what you can take. Think about what you can give. Think about how you can help, right? So anyway, family, thank you for being here on this live. I want to say thank you. And get ready. We're about to have some fun. If you haven't already, text Hakuna Matata to the number in my bio so that I can put you on the list so that when we do the 7-day transformational, you'll get the text. And if you want the bioresonance scan or the total body scan, you can go to my bio. And if you have any questions, please be sure to be tenacious if I haven't responded to you, because it's a lot of people coming to me. So be creative. Whatever it is that you decide that you really want, you'll get. You just have to open up yourself to the way to getting it. All right? So When in doubt, you can schedule a consultation. Again, because I know a lot of y'all don't have the bread, it's okay. Just be persistent, commenting on my post, and you'll get to me. All right, fam. Love and light. Peace.